You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 97. This is Pay It Forward Friday. Well, actually it's Saturday.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Aloha, Men of Abundance. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. I woke up a little bit late yesterday on Friday, so I did not get my live Facebook Pay It Forward Friday video out in the morning. I got it out later in the afternoon, actually in the evening when I got home, just before going to hang out on the beach with the family. So I'm getting this part of the show, the podcast portion of the show, out to you this morning on Saturday. And if you want to check out the video portion of this episode, you can check that out at menofabundance.com/blog, or just click on the Live Journey tab up on the homepage, or you can check it out on YouTube, and I'll have both of those links in the show notes of this episode. By the way, that YouTube channel just got started, and I want to get the URL extension Men of Abundance, so to be youtube.com/Men of Abundance, but I cannot do that until I get 100 subscribers. So if you would, please go to menofabundance.com/097 and go into the show notes, click on that link for YouTube, and subscribe to the Men of Abundance YouTube channel. That way you can catch all of my YouTube videos that are broadcasted live from my personal Facebook at Wally Carmichael. And of course, if you have not subscribed to the Men of Abundance podcast or left a review, you can do so right there from that same page. I truly, truly appreciate that. Speaking of iTunes reviews, I want to share the latest iTunes review with you right now. This one was posted by A Plus Podcast. It's actually Giselle Oliveira. I hope I pronounced that right. She says, "Love this show. Really enjoy listening to the interviews. Awesome topics and really inspires and motivates me. Keep it up." Giselle, I truly appreciate that review. It truly means so much to me that you would take the time to leave a review for Men of Abundance, and that you're a lady listening to Men of Abundance. I'm just blown away. I truly appreciate it. And if you want to get a shout out on Men of Abundance, just leave a review on iTunes, Men of Abundance, and I'll give you a shout out as well. Hey, it's the least I can do. I truly appreciate it. Now, let's get on to the conversation. Hey, so listen, let me get this done. I got to go hang out with the family on the beach. I just got home. I didn't do my video this morning, running kind of late. I was messing around. I slept in a little bit. But I wanted to get this done because this is something I've been thinking about. And I say this all the time. Your mind really knows no difference between imagination and reality. And so here's what I want you to do, just to prove a point. In just one way, and I'm going to break it down and tell you what it means to you specifically. Hold in your hand, imaginary right now, hold in your hand a lemon. And you can smell the lemon, you just cut it, juices are still running out of it. Now, as you're holding that lemon and you imagine that lemon in your hand, hold it up to your mouth and take a bite, just a big bite into that lemon. Right now, if you're being honest with yourself, as you're biting into that lemon, what's happening? Saliva starts building up in your mouth. Because the brain, you're telling your brain that you're holding that lemon up to your mouth and you feel the saliva, your lips might even be puckering a little bit. And the reason why I bring that up is because, and why is it important for you to know that your mind knows no difference between imagination and reality, is many, many years ago, I was in Sinai Egypt. And I was going to be a part of a team, or I was a part of a team, a captain of one of the teams for the Multination Forces and Observers competition. Fiji had won this thing for 14 years in a row. And Colonel Petraeus at the time, who was my brigade commander at the time, he was a colonel, not a general, and he really wanted United States to win this year. He wanted 82nd, 3rd of the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment to win that year. So he brought in an expert that sat us all down and had us go through this, basically the process of the competition in our minds. We laid in a quiet room, darkened room. It was actually one of the restaurants that was out there, like a dining facility type of thing. And we would imagine ourselves on the firing range with the heat and the wind blowing, and imagining the rocks pushing into our elbows as we're in the position to fire our weapon, right, in a prone position. And imagine squeezing the trigger and imagining the weapon pushing against your recoiling against your shoulder, that whole bit. We did that for several weeks. We did that for every single event. We imagined this. We blew that competition out of the water. We won that competition. I just happened to be the team captain of the team that had the highest scoring points in the history of those games. And we used our imagination. Of course, we put that to action, but we used our imagination so that we could be more mentally prepared for it when we got out there. Jared, what's going on, man? How you doing? And it was truly amazing. And I've seen this happen time and time again in my life. Aloha, Jared. And even more so recently, there's a reason why I've been living on the beach out here in Hawaii for the last 2 years. Because of this thing that we have in the back of our, right about in our spine, if you know the anatomy, it's called the, it's called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. And that part of the system is the part that filters how much information goes into your brain so you don't have overload. But the stuff that's at the front of your mind is what's held. It's basically, think of it as your RAM of your computer. It's held there in the RAS. And what that means is say for instance, and this is one of the perfect scenarios of this, is when you think of a car that you want a new car. Maybe it's a Volkswagen, or maybe a Tesla, or even something rare, and you want that particular color. The next thing you know, you start seeing that car everywhere on the road. Everywhere you turn, you see the car parked at an Applebee's, on the road beside you on the highway. Everywhere you go, you see the commercials. Here's the thing, those cars have always been there. It's just now that your RAS has been activated and you've put that into your mind, now you see it everywhere. And eventually, if you continue to put that in your mind, it will manifest. Of course, you have to take action on it, but it will manifest. I laid in my cot in Albania for about 5 months, and above my cot in the mosquito net was a picture of my family, an aquarium, and a picture of Hawaii, because I always wanted to go to Hawaii. Now at this point, I've lived in Hawaii for over 9 years, but I didn't expect to live in Hawaii. I just wanted to visit Hawaii, and that was that same thing happening. So is that going to, by itself, if you just start putting in your mind the things that you want in life, are they just going to show up? No, it doesn't work like that. Some may say it does, but it doesn't. You have to take some action. You have to put it on the calendar. If you want a specific vacation to New Zealand or whatever it is you want, you got to put it on the calendar. That's further putting it in front of you. You paste a picture of it on your mirror so you see it every single morning when you go to the bathroom. All right, stuff like that. That's how this stuff works. That's why I started this out with saying that your mind knows no difference between imagination and reality. It's proven, scientifically proven, that that's the case. They've taken Olympic runners and they've put them on the they basically just sat them down in a chair, or they laid them down like I was talking about earlier. They put all the wires all over their heads so they can monitor their brain waves. They had them think of themselves getting into the starting blocks. Think of themselves when the anticipation for the gun to fire off, and then the gun fire off, and then they think of themselves running down the track through the finish line. And they found that when they did that, the same brain waves, heart rate, everything fired to the same exact target and to the same exact extent as when they were actually running the race. So you can use this in your day-to-day activities. But again, write it down, put it on the calendar, take action. All right, I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm going to be posting this on my blog. I'll write it all out and I have it on the blog. And then, of course, I put it out on YouTube as well. I'm out. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go spend some time on the beach with the family. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Kevin, thank you. I appreciate that. You are awesome, man. Aloha. Take care. All right, all of you amazing, abundant leaders out there, I truly, truly appreciate you hanging out with me today. It seriously means a lot to me that you would spend this little bit of time with me out of your day. Now go out and live your life of abundance and make sure to pay it forward.